Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. In today's video, Ben from 401 Files and myself talk about the Bigfoot community online and how we don't think it's going in the direction we think it should be going. There's a lot of stuff coming out on the internet, a lot of crazy theories and ideas, and you guys have seen it, the amount of images floating around online, um, that are attached to claims of being, a Sasquatch or evidence of Sasquatch, when they're most likely not. Things aren't looking good if we continue in the direction we're going. And the Sasquatch being recognized by, scientists and actual academics, the chances of that happening are becoming slimmer and slimmer, as things continue on the way they are. So Ben and I wanted to talk about that and share our thoughts on how things are going and then how we think things should go, for the subject to be taken seriously, because things aren't looking good. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy this video.
Is there any thoughts that you've had in recent months on the Bigfoot community as far as like what direction it's going? Do you think we're going to a good place with it, or do you think we're like taking steps backwards?
There seems to be like every day there's a new group being created with the topic of Bigfoot and these wildman phenomena. And the posts just, it's kind of like people are sat there thinking, right, what is the most outrageous post that I can create that will get traction? And so a lot of what's being posted in these groups is for that reason. Like people just wanting to get likes, comments, and maybe stir the pot a little bit, ruffle people's feathers. Do you know what I mean? It's just getting more and more crazy. The more I see of this stuff. Not everybody, not every group, but there is a lot of groups out there now where people are just posting the most craziest and outlandish things just for the sake of it. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you've experienced that as well, but
What I see a lot of lately is people will post really like old things that have already been proven to be like fake or
yeah,
like misidentified, whatever. And they'll post it, and then they'll be like, I don't know what I think about this, but what do you guys think about this? And like that stuff just keeps getting shared around over and over again, and it never goes away, despite it being like proven to be like
yeah,
fake. It's
yeah,
like,
and maybe as well because like that happens quite a lot with new people, and I don't want to like say this in a way that like, oh, you newbies out there. I don't want to put it across like that, but people that are new to the phenomena who don't take the time to bring themselves up to speed. So what happens is they start coming across these cases that have already been proven or debunked, and because it's new to them, they then repost it with the same excitement that everybody had the first time round, not knowing that it's old news. And it's kind of like, oh God, guys, if you are just going to start posting stuff, like at least try to do the alternative research to it. Do you know what I mean? Find out what's been said, what's been proven about this case. But that's what I find. I find it in the extraterrestrial phenomena as well. There's a lot of these people that repost old stuff. It's because they're new to the phenomena and they've got excited because they found this case that they've never heard about before, and that's it. Before they've done any more research or looked into it any further, they've just posted it straight to Facebook, and it gets a bit old real quick.
yeah, so like before you're gonna go out and put stuff out there on the internet for everyone to see, you should definitely like look into it deeply
Yeah,
and determine whether or not there's any hoaxing going on, any, trickery. Otherwise, it just has like a negative effect towards
yeah,
the community.
absolutely. Like, so in the way that me and you operate as well, like, so for example, me and Junior was out and we both heard a strange noise, and instead of me just posting that straight to Facebook and putting a title that says, "Oh my God, wild man screams in the middle of the woods," I thought I'll send it to you. You looked at it and said it may be something like a wild animal, and obviously I went away, looked it up myself, and it might be a roe deer. But like I said, I didn't just post that straight to Facebook claiming it was a wild man.
You find that a lot too, not just with like old posts, eh? Like people will. I it was like 2 days ago, actually. I was on Facebook, and some guy posted to a Bigfoot group a picture of an old, like, weathered hornet's nest that was hanging off a branch. And he's like, I don't know what this is, guys. I'm not saying it's anything, but like, what do you guys think it is? And it's like, are you serious? You're posting this to a Bigfoot group? It's a hornet's nest. It's clear that it's a hornet's nest. And if you can't figure that out with 5 minutes of research, you shouldn't be, putting the idea out there that it might not be.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I totally agree. There's nothing wrong with if you genuinely don't know what something is, then there's nothing wrong in asking for people's opinions. Because if people didn't do that, then we'd never have any new footage. It's because of people being confused at what they're looking at, and posting it for people to come back and give them suggestions, what it might be, etc. It's that kind of stuff that's the reason we know about some of these new Bigfoot sightings or stories. So I promote that all day long. But what I don't promote is the people that try and spin it. So they'll know exactly what they're looking at. It's common sense, it's clearly obvious, and the wording will be, oh my God, guys, this is unreal. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. What do you guys think? It's like, come on now, you know what you're doing when you do that. If you genuinely don't know what it is, just put it out there, say whatever you want to say, like I said. But it's all in the wording for me.
Yeah, if you just put the picture of the hornet's nest on the internet and said, "Hey guys, anybody know what this is?" and leave it at that.
Yeah, or even just say, look, I'm guessing it's some kind of a hornet's nest, but I've never seen one like this before. Anybody else seen something similar? Then that's fine with me. But when you start trying to create an atmosphere and set the
It's the
scene
same
for it
thing.
being a big,
Remember the dog skull thing that we were looking into?
yeah,
It's the same as that. Like, that was put out there on the internet and worded in a way to make it seem like it was a dog man.
yeah. Did
You know?
anything ever come of that?
I don't think so. I haven't looked into it since, but
No.
it's obviously. I mean, we determined it to be like a domestic
Yeah,
dog. So
yeah. And the annoying thing is even though, in my own opinion, without any questionable doubt, we disproved that. Once it picks up momentum, it doesn't matter how well you disproved it. People have now latched onto it, and they will defend it viciously. So
yeah,
you could debunk something um, beyond any reasonable doubt to the point where there is no more argument. But because it's now picked up momentum and lots of people have commented and shared it, those people will still defend it to the very end, and you're never going to change their minds. That's the sad thing about it.
yeah. Well, also the sad thing is that people latch on to other people who they idolize and who they're fans of as well. Which,
Yeah,
like, the person you should stay loyal to is yourself. You know,
yeah, yeah,
even like you have a bunch of subscribers, I have a bunch of subscribers. I don't want anybody to take what I say as 100% because I mean, I don't know everything 100%. Like,
that's right. And the thing that I want to put across as well is that I'm not one to take offense to anything. Like, so if somebody does want to correct me, then that's fine. It's happened many times before in my previous videos. For example, when I went to Howard Forest, there was a square cut out in the forest, just a complete clearing of trees that made a perfect square. And I was completely oblivious, didn't know what this was. Why would there be a square in the middle of the forest? And some guy corrected me down below saying that it was something to do with a Roman settlement or something. Some kind of archaeological study is going on there. And to me, that's kind of cleared that up. I wouldn't then start saying, no, no, this is more strange than that. This is really weird. It's nothing to do. Do you know what I mean? Someone proved it. It proved me. Sorry, someone showed me what it was, and that was
yeah,
great. Like, there's no hard feelings in that.
no, exactly. You can't take this stuff personally. Like,
No, definitely not.
you just have to be open to being wrong and just let your ego go. You don't need that, you know?
You did it yourself when you walked through the avalanche path. Do you know what I mean? People were saying, "Oh no, this is Bigfoot," and you did it. You basically corrected yourself and was like, "Look, guys, I know what it looks like on screen, but I was there. This is nothing more than an avalanche path, and that's the way we should be.
I know, but people still won't let that go.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Great.
saying. By once it picks up momentum, it is very difficult then to bring it back again and correct it.
Yeah, yeah, you're
But
right.
I get excited about being disproved though as well. Like, to me, my mindset has always been like this. So I can only speak on what I experience. And so if I hear something strange in the woods and I really don't know what that is, it's left me baffled. I have no shame in asking other people for their opinion because it's likely that someone's going to know what it is. I mean, I've maybe never heard the sound before, but maybe someone else has. And so that excites me because for me, it's the not knowing bit that annoys me. And I'm not saying I want it to be a wild man or a Bigfoot. I just want it to be something. Someone give me some kind of a example or show me what that sound was. And then when people do that, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's some people out there, like I said, that won't take that. They won't take anybody else's opinion on board.
One of the main points I wanted to make was that because all this stuff's getting circulated around the internet, a lot of old stuff that's hoaxed, a lot of cases where people are just trying to get attention by posting things that anything. And as much as I hate to say it, I also think there's some cases where there's like mental illness involved, people believing that there's something there when there's nothing there. As like bad as it might sound, I think that happens quite often.
Yeah.
I think with all this stuff going on, it's making it increasingly difficult for this stuff to be taken serious by like actual academics and scientists. I don't think if we're going in this direction, it won't ever be because it's starting to look more and more like a joke and more ridiculous. So with Mountain Beast Mysteries, what I wanted to do was create something, create videos on the Bigfoot topic where people would take it more seriously and it would kind of give the subject more credibility, by having someone looking at the cases with like a very, I guess, open point of view, not taking everything as fact and just kind of going out and exploring and gathering the evidence and then, trying to sort through in a reasonable way and not like saying things are things and making claims and whatever. So that's what I wanted to do, but it seemed to have spawned like everyone nowadays wants to make a Bigfoot YouTube channel and they're putting anything out there. You know what I mean? And some of them are pretty wild.
We've seen them. We've seen them ourselves, haven't we? We've watched a few where the claims are so bizarre and so weird. And like you said, it gets to a point where you have to start questioning somebody's mental health not mental health, that's maybe the wrong term, mental state of mind, let's say. Because some people just don't think logically about certain things. And again, it's those people that are not only going to muddy the waters, but are going to be very, very hard to sway their opinion on anything. They're going to have what they believe. They're going to run with it. They're going to post and share it, and likely pollute the minds of many other people as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. The internet hasn't done any of these communities any favors, I don't think, because it just allows anyone to go in and say anything. Yeah. And you'll believe the stuff that you want to believe, Yeah. You won't believe the stuff
exactly.
That's fact.
Yeah. And this is partly why I love getting out myself and doing this stuff myself, because on the internet, everybody has an opinion. And it's a question of whose opinion do you want to believe? There's been people out there that have been really believable and convinced me, only to find out later that they were a hoax or they were liars. And so trying to come up with any kind of believability from things you've read or heard about on the internet, from people sharing things, it's very, very difficult because, like I said, even those that come across really genuine and you would swear that this person is telling the truth, later you find that they're liars and it's all been a hoax. So for me, this is why I do like getting out, boots on the ground, personally myself, because nobody can sway my opinion when I'm in the woods. Nobody can sway my opinion on what I thought I heard or what I thought I saw. Only I can do that. And for me, it's the old saying of seeing is believing. You've got to see it for yourself. You've got to hear it for yourself. And yeah, I understand that not everybody can do that. Not everybody can get out, but that's why I like to make the videos. That's why you like to make the videos, because I like to think that I'm quite genuine, and I just put that across there for you, for these people to make their own minds up that can't get out. But yeah, I do. I like getting out personally myself to make my own mind up.
There's also a difference in like hearing something and knowing what it was, and hearing something and thinking you know what it was. You could
Yeah,
hear something and think it's something completely different, like
yeah,
it's just like with the sound you heard. Like, I'm pretty sure it's probably not anything crazy, but you probably
100%.
like, right?
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Like my thing with the sound I heard was it was a sound I've never heard before. And so that gets me excited straight away because, like I said previously, whether you come back and say that was a deer, that fascinates me because I've never heard a deer make that noise. So either way, it's a win-win for me because I like to be educated. I like to learn new things. And for me to be out there and hear a noise that I'm unfamiliar with all these years later, it's fascinating to me. It's like, wow, I've been coming out for over 4 or 5 years into these woods, plus all my time in the army, spending my time in the woods, and I've never heard that until now. That's fascinating. Whether it is a deer or whether it's something more, I still find that very fascinating.
Yeah, and it's still good to like share that experience online, but like do it in a way where you're kind of educating people in that sense too. Like I heard
Yeah,
this sound, I didn't know what it was, but after digging around, I found some other possibilities as to what it could be, things that are more reasonable, I guess.
yeah,
You know,
100%. I tried to do that with the stick structures as well. The tree structures is like I'm not sure if you saw my previous video, but I did the same thing there. I came across a tree structure that to some people would have probably looked quite fascinating, strange, but for me it wasn't. And I put that across in the video, just like you said there, logically, that it could have been high winds. It's always the best way to do it, I think.
yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate that like there's characters out there and people that will say anything, and things that are said can be quite ridiculous and far
We should try.
fetched.
We should try it one time. We should come up with a really ridiculous skit, create like a really bizarre, weird, over the top video and just see how far it goes. Like post it and just watch
Dude,
it like progress.
it's scary though because it would probably go pretty far.
It really would. You'd wake up and it'd be viral, like everyone would be just going crazy about it.
Yeah. It's just sad because as things get crazier and more stuff goes on the internet, I think there's like a less and less of a chance of actual like scientists or serious people like getting involved and like helping the search. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to get like very many actual scientists or like people who would want to fund like an actual expedition.
Yeah.
As it's going right now, like the research is in the hands of like me and you, people doing what we're doing, and the people watching who want to like support it. That's how like the discovery is going to be made. Like now, it's not going to be with scientists or actual like investors. It's going to be like amateur people like us and hobbyists and the fans
Yeah.
and the people watching, which is crazy. Like, and if it's going to continue on like that, are we going to actually find it with the resources we have, or is it going to take actual like scientists and like investors? You know, we're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna end up finding Bigfoot with our GoFundMe pages and Patreons.
Yeah. And I think what we've basically just touched on as well is that with all this rubbish that's floating around on the internet, eventually something legit is going to come out or come forward, and nobody's going to believe it. So the moment we do find something, the moment a legitimate piece of footage or evidence is produced, the likelihood that anybody believes it after listening to all the crap that's out there is going to be, it's going to destroy everything. It's like the boy that cried wolf. You keep putting out crap, you keep putting out crap, and eventually something real comes along, and everyone's like, nah, that's crap. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of a losing battle, really. But
Yeah, like people still don't believe the Patterson footage. A lot of people don't believe that, but it's the clearest thing we've had for like
yeah,
decades.
yeah. Even now, like there's nothing that matches the Patterson footage even now. So
Yeah.
I think that I I can only speak for myself, but I absolutely love the the idea of getting out there, because like what you've just said there is that it is going to be us hobbyists, us amateur movie makers, documentary makers. It's going to be one of us guys that goes out there and finds this piece of evidence. And the soul destroying thing is, who's going to believe it? Because
Well,
the
that's the
minute one of
you say
sorry, go on.
amateur, like you say filmmakers and documentary makers. Well, that's what Roger Patterson was. He was an amateur like documentarian, and he got that
Yeah,
footage, and not a lot of people believed him. You know,
yeah, that's right. It's
but
going
I
to be
just
a
we can't really control what people do and what they put on the internet, but we can just say like have some common sense and some morals when you're venturing out into the internet world, you know?
yeah. I read some really bizarre titles as well. That you just like I always say this, I can't stress it enough, is that I am really open about my thumbnails, my titles and things like that, and I make people aware that I love being over the top with the thumbnails, because for the reason you need to be over the top with a thumbnail or thought provoking with your thumbnail is because that's what's going to click people into the video. And if I ever want to get discovered by people that are like minded, then that's my only option to get them drawn into my videos. But once they're in the video, I will never ever not deliver. So if I say in my title that I heard a voice or I heard a scream, that is exactly what you're going to get in the video. And I'm always open about this. I always tell all my subscribers this. But sometimes you see the most bizarre titles of a video just to get people in there, and you click it and nothing even close happens in that video that was suggested in the title. That's really annoying as well, like the clickbait stuff like that.
I know. Well, like the clickbait thing is kind of like a weird situation because like you want to get people to watch your stuff that you put so much
That's
effort
it, yeah.
and time into, right? You want people to hear your thoughts and to see like a serious look into the subject. So you want people to click it. But a lot of people get like butthurt that you try and lure people into watching your videos. It's like that's why like we're on YouTube because we want people to watch our stuff. If we didn't want people to watch our stuff, we wouldn't have channels.
And it makes no sense, because you look around you, everything that you do is being pushed in your face. The reason you go to a certain supermarket to get your food is because it's advertised as being the best. When you go to the cinemas, the reason you're off to watch that movie is because it's being advertised on the side of buses, in adverts. Everybody pushes it. That's the whole idea of it. If you don't push your content out there, how is anybody ever going to know about it? And I don't understand this, and this has baffled me for a long time. I really do find it annoying. Is that the average day person watching YouTube has this hatred for YouTubers trying to make their way on the platform? It really bugs me, because I think the amount of time and effort that goes into making these videos, we don't just sit here with our hands out saying, please, please. We're not begging. We put a lot of time, a lot of effort into these videos. We get out there for a start, we get out to these places, which is more than what most people are doing. And yeah, you get people saying that we're just scroungers or we're clickbaity, or it's nothing to do with that. I mean, you don't go saying that to the next blockbuster movie that's at the cinemas. You don't go saying, "Oh, you clickbait." People still go watch it. It's just, but they're
I
doing it all
know
the time. Like, I don't get it.
it might be like a jealousy thing, you know?
Yeah,
People don't like that you're doing what you love. I
yeah,
don't know. People Yeah, you're right about the blockbuster thing. Like, movie production borrows money and takes money from other
Of course.
areas to make that movie, right?
Exactly the reason anybody ever goes to the cinema to watch any movie is because they've seen it advertised. That's it. That's all it boils down to is advertisement, and that's no different from me trying to share my video on a group or on my own page and pushing it out there because that's what I'm doing. I'm advertising what I've just done because I'm proud of it for one. I think that like-minded people would appreciate it, and that's the same as what Hollywood does. That's the same as what clothing lines like Nike, Adidas, and all these other brands do. They all push it out there and advertise. But yet
Yeah,
nobody writes them an email or a message saying clickbait. And you know what I mean? It's weird.
yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, so like basically, like when it comes down to it, I don't think Bigfoot will ever be taken seriously if things continue the way they are. I don't think it'll ever be accepted by serious like academics. And some people might say like it doesn't even matter. People will say that I've like witnessed it, I've seen it, so I know for myself, and it doesn't matter what the world thinks. It's like
Yeah.
I think it would be a good thing if the world knew they were actually there. You
Yeah, I
know?
agree totally. But I'll play the devil's advocate then, Justin. So, like, what would you say needs to be done for things to go the other way? So we're talking
People
about how people don't take it serious. So what would need to change then for people to start taking it serious? This is a difficult question as well.
people need to think critically,
Yeah.
and they need to do research and investigate things before they start posting stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think they see something, and without investigating further, they'll just throw it on the internet and make it seem like it's something crazy, right? They won't go out and try and debunk themselves a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I can't believe how out of hand it gets. Like people post a picture that is of absolutely nothing and say it's something. And then there's also the people who follow them who like support them in a way by like writing in the comments like, "Oh my god, like I'm like this is crazy. Like how are
Yeah.
you doing this?" and blah blah. It's like, what are you even talking about?
My biggest pet hate, and I think a video or two back of mine, I had a completely big rant about this because I'm just so past the point of caring about this now. And I mentioned this in my video, and I probably rubbed people up the wrong way because they don't want to hear this. But I just really don't care. Like, I'm past the point of caring, literally. And it's these pictures that are posted with a red circle and they claim, "Can you see this? Can you make that face out?" I don't care because if I can't see it clearly, the job hasn't been done. Like
No,
if you have to put a
shit.
red, that's it. If you have to put a red circle around anything and say, "Can you see this?" and then 200 people are all saying they see different things, it's pointless. We've achieved nothing. Just don't post it. We need a definitive yes, this is a Bigfoot or a majority. But when you have 200 people with 200 different versions of what they can see, what have you really got? You've got nothing other than an optical illusion. You remember the old 90s books that used to be about the magic eye, and you used to have to go cross-eyed to make out the pictures. You might as well just stick one of them up because it's at least with them, everybody was in agreement of what they were looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, even like still like I always go back to the Patterson footage. That's a really good piece of footage, and that still isn't even good enough.
That's it.
So you think your little picture with a red circle and some leaves is gonna do anything? It's not.
I know. It's like the lights in the sky. I get the lights in the sky, and if you saw that personally, I can fully understand why that would be breathtaking to see. And I can fully understand if you saw some strange lights acting weird in the sky, that would be an amazing experience for you. But taking a picture of some lights in the sky, a still picture, and just posting that saying it was this or it was that, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a single thing because all I'm looking at, it could be anything. It could be a reflective light from a car window, reflecting the lights of the dashboard. It could be some guy stood in a field with a torch. Like, and that really, again, I'm past the point of caring about those things now. The images with red circles and just the lights in the sky. We need to start really just leaving them on the side. Don't post them. If I have that kind of stuff, I'm not posting it unless it's going to really cause a stir and leave people with more questions. Because just a light on a picture is nothing to me. It's annoying.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And if like you desperately want to post it, like I've posted like little things that I found, and so have you, but we're very like open to the idea of it being nothing, and we say that like
That's it, yeah.
we
And it's
just
like I
want to
said, it's always going to be fascinating and amazing to you if you experienced it. But don't expect everybody else to be the same. Like, because unless it's pattern quality footage, the chances are that people are going to not believe it. People aren't going to be as excited as you was, and there's going to be a million and one different reasons as to what you saw. So, where does it really leave you at the end?
Yeah.
I wonder why though. Like, why have we not had pattern quality footage since? I mean, that was like a once in a lifetime event. Nothing similar has come around. Nothing
I like to,
even.
I don't know. Back in those days, I like to think, there wasn't as much stuff going on in the forests. That area looks completely different nowadays. There's way more people, way more like civilization, I guess, and
Yeah,
development of like properties, and the world was different back then. They went in on horses with analog film cameras, and I just think it was, if it is real, it was probably just luck for the most part. I mean, they did have an idea. They did know there were tracks and sightings in that area,
yeah.
but for the most part, I think it was just luck.
And do you know what I absolutely love about that footage? And this is again not having a go, but this is what I really love about that footage is that it didn't do anything spectacular. And for me, that adds to the validity of it. I mean, nowadays, when we look at UFO footage, it's not just a UFO anymore. They have lasers flying out of them. They're doing all sorts of shifting through different dimensions and appearing somewhere else. People have to go to the extremes. Whereas if you look at all the old footage that is believable, like the Patterson footage, it didn't do anything spectacular. It did exactly what we would assume an undiscovered creature would do. It got the hell out of there, it had a glance over its shoulder, and that was perfect. That is so more believable to me than a Bigfoot. I don't know, just like doing all these crazy things that we see in these videos. The people that have to go one step too far.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that, like, if somebody was going to hoax a Bigfoot back then, it would be way easier to just make a head or like body parts, have it hiding behind something, and have it
Yeah,
like obscured. But how it's just openly, like, there it is, there's the whole thing walking, and you can see everything, and have it
yeah.
look so good, man. Like, if
I,
they were hoaxing it, they did it the hardest way possible.
that's not a hoax. That is definitely
I,
not a hoax.
that's why I don't think it is because you just see it all, and it's like,
And it's that footage alone that keeps me interested in this phenomenon. I mean, that single piece of footage alone is what keeps me excited about talking to people like yourself and getting out there and exploring these different areas because I look at that footage and I can't see how that would ever be fake, ever. The way it
yeah,
moves, the way the whole upper body turns just to look over its shoulder because of the weight and the size of the neck. Do you know what I mean? The stride, the way its arms hang loosely, and everything about it, the muscle definition, the way it never did anything spectacular. It just walked away from these two people that had encroached on the area. It's just everything about it screams real to me. And like I said to you, it's weird that we've never seen anything similar since. We've seen a lot of remakes. We've seen a lot of people trying to reenact that. But as time's gone on, it's just got more and more crazy. It's no longer a Bigfoot walking through a creek. It's Bigfoot swinging on a goalpost or Bigfoot wrestling a bear. Do you know what I mean? It's strange.
I know. Um, yeah, I guess we should maybe wrap up this topic, but that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about is like, is Bigfoot ever going to be, accepted by people in like actual institutions, you know, like academics, scientists, the government? People say the government already knows all about them. That's just a claim.
Mm.
There's a lot of claims. I just think the way things are going online right now, because the Bigfoot community seems to be growing like immensely, and it keeps getting crazier and crazier. Like the other day, someone sent to me a poster for an event that was happening online, and it was some sort of like international fairy gathering or something of people who believe in fairies, and like people believe in unicorns, dude, and dragons.
Yeah.
And they're charging $200 for a person to join this online streaming like gathering. I'm like, give me a goddamn break, dude.
Yeah.
If things are going in that direction, this will never be taken seriously, and we'll never get the resources we need to actually do a proper expedition to find
No.
one of these things.
The good thing about being quite blunt, I know sometimes in my videos I am quite blunt. I don't mince my words, and like I said, I probably do ruffle a few people's feathers the wrong way. But at the end of the day, the ones that are going to be left on my channel are going to be the like-minded people, and the snowflakes, if you want to call them that, will have disappeared hopefully. But I have a great bunch of people, and so do you. And like I say, I'm not going to stop doing things the way I do it. If I don't believe something is real or genuine, I'm going to say that. If I am completely stumped and left wanting more answers, then I'm going to put that out there as well. Because, like I said in my last video, I like to document everything, thoughts, feelings, and the surrounding area as well. So it's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it was nice talking to you on this topic.
Yeah, awesome. It's been a pleasure as always.
I'm always into hearing your thoughts. So, I mean, I guess that's
I love that we can just collaborate like this as well. Like not just like this face to face chatting on Skype, but I can just hit you up on the text and be like, Justin, I need a voiceover, and like you give me a voiceover, and everybody loved it. Like I was reading the comments, and people were saying, "Oh man, I thought that I'd clicked the wrong channel because I heard Justin," and I love reading stuff like that. They're like, "I thought I clicked 401, but then I heard Justin." It's just so nice to be able to like hit you up with a message and say, "Look, Justin, I'm needing this part with a voiceover, and I think that you'd like do it really well." I love that. It's great.
Yeah, that's really cool. Technology, I guess, does work in our favor sometimes.
You absolutely nailed it as well. Like I give you it made me sick. Like how good you was at that. I give you a really like rough description of what I wanted you to talk about, and then I received the voicemail, the voiceover back from you, and I was just like, how has he done this so good? It was like literally what I wanted, word for word, perfect.
I don't know. I was kind of like what you asked me in that question, like what you wanted me to talk about. I was already like thinking about that stuff in my head, so it was kind of like weird how you messaged me about that. And I was having like kind of thoughts in my mind of like, why do I do this?
It's so weird, right? Because I'll upload footage on my computer, and literally seconds before uploading the footage, there'll be no thoughts in my head about what I want to say or anything like that, what kind of a message I want to put across. But as soon as I start playing the footage, I'm like, oh man, do you know what would be really good here? If there was like Justin doing a voiceover about what keeps him interested in the phenomena. And I think that's so weird because all I've done is just like be inspired by watching the footage. And then these thoughts come into my mind of it's so weird how that works.
It is. It all comes together, and I don't know.
Yeah, I love that.